Dr. Samir Parikh, I'm a psychiatrist. I look after the Fortis mental health program across the Fortis Healthcare network.
All right. So, to begin with, sir, please tell us, is it okay to not be okay?
I mean, of course it is, isn't it? How can everybody be okay 24/7, 365 days a year for our entire life? I don't think it's possible. All of us, you, me, everyone, we'll have our ups and downs, we'll have difficult moments, we'll have struggles, we'll have some issues in our relationships, sometimes in our marks, sometimes in our performances and appraisals, sometimes interpersonal issues, part of life. I think the issue here is to understand that, like any human being, we'll have our own struggles, and to struggle is fine as long as you are ready to seek help. You shouldn't be hesitant to seek help. I think that has to be our focus. Don't hesitate, ask for help.
Right. So, doctor, do you have any advice for people who are too embarrassed to seek help?
Fact is, we keep seeking help. You just need to understand that you are already seeking help. You are, your car's not working, you take a lift, you seek help. You are a school student, you forgot to do your homework, you asked a friend and show me the homework, I can copy it. That was help. You're on the sports field, you are near the goal post, your friend, your teammate has the ball and you wave hand and say, pass me the ball. You ask for help so that you could score a goal. You've gone someplace and you were not carrying, let's say, a pen. You asked for it to sign something or write something. That was help. You are lost somewhere and you open your phone and you ask Google the map to figure where you want to go. You ask for help. We all ask for help constantly and consistently. We just don't see that as help. But we, more often than not, are going to face situations where we'll struggle also. I'll have a bad day. There will be times I'll be angry and upset. Yes, go ahead and ask help. What's the hesitation? I mean, we are not robots, are we? We're human beings. Human beings feel. You'll feel happiness also, you'll feel sadness also, you'll feel anger also, you'll feel frustration also. Seek help, don't hesitate.
Right. And, doctor, we have always heard happiness is a state of mind. Does happiness really indicate the health of our mind, or is it our common perception that when we are happy, we cannot be sad or depressed?
We need to work towards our happiness. We need to have focus on well-being, being able to enjoy life with its ups and downs and struggles, yes. But I do feel happiness needs to be prioritized. And obviously, if you're happy at that time, for you to be, let's say, very angry or very upset is unlikely. The issue here is not that in a cross section, are you happy or not? The point here needs to be that on a longitudinal axis, you should be able to feel happy, and you will be able to feel happy if you value it. So if you are a student, then you need to also play with your friends, spend time with your friends, spend quality time with your family, indulge into some hobbies, enjoy. If you are a young working adult and you are going through the rigors of life, so much pressure, still take out your me time, enjoy what you are doing, make sure that you have good colleague time as well, take time out for your own family, do things you like doing, be in that moment. We all need to understand this aspect. If you'll be happy, you'll be healthier, physically and mentally. Your relationships would be better, your quality of life would be better. I do feel happiness is something that collectively we need to have as a goal, as a focus. You want to measure how well you are doing, how happy you are.
Right. And, doctor, importance of mental health in workplace is often being ignored in our country. According to you, what role do employers play in fostering mental health in the workplace? And do you think it's time organizations should launch mental health policy?
Mental health outcomes need to be seen as one of the most integral, important outcomes for any organization. Yes to your P&L, yes to your EBITDAs, but if it is without a mental health outcome, that is incomplete, it's superficial, and that has to be the focus of organizations. We've done this in schools. We talk about counseling, we talk about life skills, we talk about support systems. Why? Because school is a structure for us where we can do a lot. Similarly, organizations is a structure. You have employees and their families. So much needs to be done there. And I do feel workplace mental health needs to be incorporated as a given, as a default. And it should include psychological first aid as a training for everyone. It should include awareness and access to support and access to intervention. It should include that the environment at the workplace needs to be conducive for conversations on mental health. It should be devoid of stigma, and mental health outcomes needs to be one of the parameters where successful organizations should measure themselves. Beyond the ups and downs of the Sensex, how about looking at your mental health outcomes?
Right. So, what's the impact of social media on young people's mental health?
Difficult to answer that question, isn't it? Very difficult to comment on this, but I'd like to believe that there are two sides to this. I do feel that there is way too much advantage of social media if we were to ensure we use it in the right manner. And this if is the concern. If you had asked me 15, 20 years back that would we ever talk about trolling, I wouldn't have said yes. When internet started, would we have ever thought that we'll talk about cyberbullying? Would we have ever thought about comparisons, likes, dislikes, and the pressures that have gone through? We wouldn't have done that. Social media, I've said this at various platforms, social media is social. The moment you stop being social, that's a problem. And social means positivity, connectedness, values, togetherness, information, enjoyment, fun, not at the cost of someone. Abusing is not fun. Trolling is not fun. Crossing a line is not fun. And it's not social as well. I mean, you want to call it antisocial, asocial, feel free to do that. But it's not social. And that's a concern. To me, how I see this is that social media is here to stay. It will become more and more intrusive. It will become even more accessible. Already you would see young people struggling to be anywhere without their mobile phone. And the age of these young people is getting younger and younger day by day. That's how it is. Which means what? We need to focus on what skills we impart children rather than looking at what social media platforms would do. In a utopian world, I'd love to have social media platforms raising the bar of their responsibility. Not scotch tape, doing something significantly, creating safe spaces, ensuring that no form of trolling, no form of cyberbullying, no form of line crossing happens. But I know it may be easier said and difficult to implement. And it can't be only about platforms, it's also about the civilization, and it's not understanding what values are. And you can't change every individual, so you impart education in children. For in years to come, media literacy will, whether we do it now or not, eventually in a couple of years, media literacy will be probably as important as maths and science or social science, environmental studies, whatever else is there. But media literacy would be there because you will need to train children, educate them how to filter fake from real, how to make sure you don't be lost in comparisons, how to make sure that you are taking care of your own safety and privacy, how to make sure that you understand that this message may be incomplete, partially correct, hidden messages, surrogate ads, to be able to understand that this message is giving you a stereotypical view. This message is affecting your lifestyle. It's forcing a choice upon you. And you empower children with the skills of media literacy so that the harmful effect of social media can be reduced as much as it can be. Otherwise, there is an issue. Mental health of young people, and there is robust talk and conversation and evidence about it, can be impacted by social media. Now it's up to the society and social media platforms to see whether you do more good, or we like we've done for generations when it comes to mental health. It's the elephant in the room and we shut our eyes to it.
Right. Dr. Parikh, please tell us, how can one overcome depression? Some handy tips that you would like to share?
Depression is a medical illness. Nearly 300 million people in the world suffer from depression. It's one of the single largest illness in the world. Depression is a medical illness. I can't prevent, you can't change, it's not going to go away, I can't wish it off, I can't do a jog and change it, I can't eat a couple of things and change it. Depression is a medical illness. Understand that, accept that. If you have the signs and symptoms, you go talk to your physician. Your general physician, your family physician would be able to tell you that, okay, whether they can take care of it, whether you need to go to a psychologist for some therapy, whether you need to go to a psychiatrist for some medications, whether some tests are required or not. What you do for depression is understand what is depression. Sadness of mood, loss of interest, loss of pleasure, change in your thoughts like hopeless, helpless, worthless, effect on your sleep and appetite, fatigue and lethargy, feeling that life's not worth living. Some of these thoughts staying with you for about 2 weeks or so, causing impairment in your functioning, impairment in the quality of your life. This could be depression. Go talk to your physician and then take it forward. That's what you do for depression.
All right. Doctor, what do you wish people knew about mental health?
That it is health. It's a part of health. Define and try and define health without talking about mental health. You can't. We talk about preventive health checkups. How is it a preventive health checkup if mental health is not there? We talk about healthy lifestyle, but if mental health is not there, how is it possible? Mental health is health. Without the mental health component, without social, emotional, mental health component, what is life?
Right. So, doctor, what are some of the risk factors for mental health problems among older adults?
Understand this when we talk about older adults. So what all is happening? Body is going through change, so you are more prone to physical illness. It may also affect your lifestyle. You're also looking at, for by and large most people, this may be your post-working era in a way, a post-retirement era. So a certain way of life, now that has changed. It will also involve that you've also gone through a different kind of losses, as you would have had some ups and downs. A lot of times it's also about loneliness and isolation, because you may not necessarily have the kind of peers that you had as a young adult. And with the younger generations getting busy in their own lives, sometimes those moments of isolation may have their own loneliness aspect as well. And then there are other aspects, whether it is the degenerative process of the brain, whether it is the aspect of depression or anxiety. What one needs to look at here is, I think, two aspects. Understand that we need to be sensitive about elder care. And the core aspect of elder care, in my opinion, is support systems. I think the role of family, friends, RWAs, alumni, I think that role is very significant. And yes, trying to give the best active lifestyle that one can have based on one's age and one's health circumstances. I think we need to look at those aspects.
Right. Doctor, does technology impact our mental health? If so, how and why?
No, it does. I don't think we can say it doesn't. I just feel that as long as we are able to be in control and we use the technology and not let the technology use us, that's what is important. For example, if you sleep with your phone switched on, then frankly the technology is one, because you are not even able to sleep without switching off. If you've stopped going out and you prefer that rather than going and meeting your friends, you'd meet them virtually, technology one, you've lost. If you prefer texting over meeting, technology one, you lost. It's the way you look at it. If you're not having adequate physical activity or hobbies, if you've lost the taste in music, art, creativity, fun, sports, it's the way you look at it. But I do feel, and I say this a lot for all of you listening here to this one, my dare to you, give me 4 hours in a row, once a week, without any digital interface. Can you do it? Just 4 hours. And sleep doesn't count, obviously. So 4 hours, be without any digital interface. If you can't do it, technology has beaten you already.
Okay, doctor, tell us one common myth related to mental health that you commonly come across almost every day.
You won't have one myth. You're talking about mental health. It's a myth galore out there. Are medicines going to be taken lifelong? No, they are not. Are medicines all sedatives? No, they are not. If I take a medicine, will I be able to go to my work? Yes, you would be able to go to work. Children do not have mental health issues. That is not true. In fact, more than 50% of mental health problems start before 15 years of age. Counseling is better if it's done by friends. Not true. Counselors are experts. They are psychologists trained into evidence-based treatment. If I take medicines, I'll be dependent. Not true. If I take therapy, I'll be dependent on the therapist. Not true. Mental health is a weakness. If you have it, not true. I can just go on and on. Mental health is a mountain full of stigma. You need to help find a way in it.
Right. Doctor, what do you enjoy most about your job?
I think I don't think it's about my job. I think each and every profession brings its own nuance, has its own speciality. And as long as all of us are able to like, enjoy, feel good, feel positive about what we do, I think that's the key. You're a journalist. You should be able to enjoy the fact that you are doing stories, reaching out to people, probably making an impact. You should like it. Like any other medical practitioner, that's what I do. So, if at all I had to even look at beyond that, I think talking to community mental health and trying to shape mental health conversations gives me a lot more pleasure. Probably is not the right word, but it gives me a lot more of satisfaction, because I feel that the lifespan of a clinician is just about a couple of decades here and there. In those years, I can see whatever droplet of an ocean people, and some of them will be benefited by me, some of them may not find the benefit, so on and so forth. That's life. But that number is too less. I just feel that, especially for a branch like ours, the impact that one can make, which is, can we help the community go through a change? Even if a few more people are open to the idea of mental health, and they can break the stigma, and even a little bit of a hole that can be in this mountain of mental health that is there, and that's good enough. And for me, that aspect of mental health is something that I strongly relate to. And of course, as a clinician, you do what you do.
Right. Dr. Parikh, work life balance as a doctor, especially being a psychiatrist, is quite the challenge. What works for you in finding balance?
I am not sure I am the best example of work life balance. I don't think I would be a very good example of that. I feel the world changed a lot, and we allowed the world's change to get the better of us in the past couple of decades. If I reflect on my parents and the earlier generations, I do feel their work life balance was spot on and the quality of life was better. If I remember my schooling years, vacations were when you did not need to meet your school friends, and without phones also you were so busy and enjoying so much, and you had a whole cousins and neighborhood friends, and there was so much happening in life. And I just only feel bad for this generation that I had so many cousins and neighborhood friends and so many open spaces, and have probably played every possible sport that could be played. And this generation has a mobile phone. What a pity. I still a lot of young colleagues, and I tell them, call me, over a text, always. I'd much rather prefer that. And if you want to text, please use words. Right? We're just taking feelings away from humanity, humankind here. You like something, you'll just put that silly emoticon of thumbs up. I mean, come on. Surely you can do better than that, or you'll send those silly hearts. You like it, say, I like it. Right? I mean, what are we doing to ourselves? And that's the aspect of, and you lose feelings, you lose connect to your own selves. How many brother? You wouldn't know how you're feeling because you actually didn't feel it. You just texted it something without reading the whole thing, and you kind of lost it. But having said that, whatever little time I still get, I read a lot. Make mental health a priority. Mental health a priority. Mental health for you, mental health for me, mental health for everyone around us. Make mental health a priority, and that starts with me, which means I will be an advocate of mental health. I'll speak the right language. I will not promote any stereotypy. I will not do discrimination. When somebody is struggling, I'll provide psychological first aid. I will focus on well being, invest in relationships, understand that mental health needs to be prioritized. If there is one message, then the message would be that unmute yourself, talk more, don't bottle it up, share more. And the more you share, the more your connection will be stronger, and never hesitate to seek help.